Mistakes teach no one. Even years later, in pursuit of a meager profit, they are ready to step on the same rake. Again. Chronopath was going through hard times. Staff cuts, funding cuts. Many suffered then. I was lucky. Relatively lucky. The branch of the business still needed a qualified engineer. Dragon Plaza. As if the Dragon Nest fire story wasn't enough for them. Anyway, it's better than being left on the street. I've always disliked these machines, especially considering their original purpose. And so in the end, you, PhD, are sitting in a stupid control room and entertaining a crowd of visitors. A dream job, damn it. Although everything is not so bad, there was no particular stress. The only drawback of this job was the place to live, given to you as a bonus.
successfully applied for that job? Congrats. Chronopath Incorporated should be proud to have such employee like you. Now let's get to the point. You know that our company having not the best time now, and the sharp reduction in the number of people in the headquarters only proves it. But they can't find anything better than to transfer highly qualified specialists to such humiliating positions in the side branches of their business. Isn't it fair? I agree. They still have a lot of things they will regret if it comes to light. You know perfectly well what I'm talking about. The machines they use as animatronics to screw up such a project. Twice in a row. Idiots. So the security service has been looking askance at this control for a long time and is only thinking about how to appropriate it. And a fairly large scandal around their business could bring the desired effect. I meant we can't interfere in their affairs directly, and therefore an internal saboteur can play that very decisive role. That's why we need your help. Relocating you to this house on a remote island was a forced measure, so don't be offended. Whoever lived here before you clearly didn't like local fauna, which sometimes crawled into his basement, so he created a makeshift security system with full video surveillance and the ability to seal off the basement. Yes, it's still pretty chilly, so if anything happens, you can turn on the heating system from the ventilation monitoring panel. And yes, sometimes some systems can fail and just shut down. If this happens, don't worry, just restart them using that little panel on one of the columns in this room. And keep an eye on the power generator. If it goes out, it can, in principle, be restarted. But for the time being, you will be completely in the dark. So for now, just try to get used to this place. I will contact you tomorrow with further instructions. Good luck.